In a distant land, where green meadows stretched endlessly to the horizon, there was a village called Windmere. The people of Windmere lived a simple life. Each day they tended to their crops, taught their children, and gathered together at dusk to share old stories. In Windmere, there was a boy named Elliot. He was known for his dreaminess and laziness. While his peers were apprenticing as blacksmiths, gardeners, or livestock caretakers, Elliot would often wander through the fields, sitting for hours by the stream doing nothing but watching the water flow. Elliot's parents were often saddened. "Elliot," his mother would sigh, "time is like a flowing stream. You cannot hold it in your hands. If you let it slip away uselessly, one day you will regret it." But Elliot would just chuckle. "Mom, I'm still young. I'll worry about it tomorrow." Then one day, when spring was at its most glorious, a stranger appeared in Windmere. He was an old man with silver hair and beard, wearing a cloak embroidered with strange patterns like tiny stars. The villagers called him the Keeper of Time. House to house, giving each family a small glass hourglass. "This is a gift," he said. "Those who cherish time will see their future bloom before their eyes." When it was Elliot's turn, the old man looked at him for a long time, then handed him not an hourglass, but a small silver seed. "This is the seed of time," he explained. "Plant it on Windy Hill at sunset, and nurture it the most precious moments of your life. If you use your time wisely, the tree will bloom with miraculous flowers, but if you waste time, the seed will wither away." Elliot was puzzled, but curiosity overcame hesitation. That evening, under the golden sunset, he climbed Windy Hill, dug a small hole, and buried the seed. And so a magical journey began. The next morning, Elliot rushed up Windy Hill, but all he saw was a mound of loose earth, no sign of any sprout. "I guess I just have to wait," Elliot thought to himself, and shrugged before heading home. In the days that followed, he kept to his old habits, sleeping until noon, wandering along the stream, daydreaming under the trees. Meanwhile, the seed remained silent. Until one day, while passing by the home of Master Arlen, the village's oldest blacksmith, Elliot overheard a conversation that made him think. Master Arlen was telling his apprentices, "Time is like red-hot iron. If you don't forge it while it's still glowing, the opportunity will cool and be lost." For the first time, Elliot felt a gnawing unease. He remembered the seed of time. Was it cooling and dying because of his laziness? That evening, Elliot carried a bucket of water up the hill. He knelt beside the patch of soil where he had planted the seed and whispered, "I'm sorry for wasting precious time. From today, I will change." The next morning, Elliot woke up early. He helped his father in the garden, learned to tend the fields, and apprenticed with the cartwright. In the evenings, while his peers played, Elliot quietly climbed Windy Hill to water and weed around the seed. At first, nothing changed, but Elliot remained patient, day by day. Then, one summer morning, when dawn was just brushing the hills with light, Elliot discovered something miraculous. Right where he had planted the seed, a tiny silver sprout was shimmering under the sunlight. Elliot's heart raced. He understood. Every moment he spent learning, working, and loving was a drop of water nurturing this magical tree. From the day that sprout appeared, Elliot changed completely. He was no longer the lazy boy of old. He studied everything he could: animal husbandry, farming, blacksmithing, even flute playing, and net weaving. Each evening, no matter how tired he was, Elliot climbed Windy Hill to tend to his little tree. Every time he watered it, he whispered promises. I will make the most of every moment to become a better person. And the tree of time grew steadily. Its silvery trunk was soft as silk, emitting a gentle light whenever night fell. But life was not always peaceful. One day, a caravan from the city arrived in Windmere. They set up colorful stalls, selling everything from fine silks to sweet pastries and mesmerizing games. Elliot's friends spent their days there. They called out, "Elliot, come play with us. Work can wait." For a moment, Elliot hesitated. The lively music, the aroma of freshly baked goods, the sound of laughter, all seemed to beckon him. But then Elliot looked toward the hill. He thought of the little tree of time and remembered the old man's words. Every wasted minute is a grain of sand lost forever. Elliot took a deep breath and shook his head. I can play later, but today's precious time will never return. He turned away from the festivities and ran up the hill. That night, as he watered the tree, Elliot witnessed a wonder. On the branches, the first silver flower buds had appeared, sparkling like tiny stars. Time passed, and Elliot grew into the most outstanding young man in the village. Everyone admired him. Some wanted him as a teacher, others hoped he would inherit their trade. But then, disaster struck. An unprecedented harsh winter lasted for 3 months. Plants withered, the ground froze, and Windmere was gripped by bitter cold. One stormy night, Elliot climbed the hill through howling winds. He was horrified to find his tree of time drooping, its buds trembling in the freezing air. No matter how hard he tried, he could not stop the fierce winds from snapping some of the tender branches. Elliot collapsed onto the ground, tears streaming down his face. He felt helpless, as if all his years of hard work were about to be lost. In that moment of despair, Elliot recalled the Keeper of Time's words. No one can prevent the winters of life. What matters is that you never stop nurturing the seed within your heart. Elliot wiped away his tears. He wrapped his cloak around the tree, using his own body to shield it from the wind. All night long, he stayed awake, keeping the tree warm. At dawn, the next morning, the sun rose. Beneath the frosted mist, Elliot saw a sight that made his heart ache. From the broken branches, tiny new buds were sprouting, stronger, more resilient than before. When spring returned, the entire green wind hill burst into brilliance, adorned with thousands of silver blossoms from the time tree. Each petal emitted a faint light, as if the stars themselves had been scattered across the earth. The people of Windmere flocked to the hill, stunned by the miraculous beauty. They asked Elliot, "What's your secret?" Elliot simply smiled and replied, "Just cherish every small moment in life." From then on, Greenwind Hill became a sacred place for the village. People came there to learn about time, how to use it, how to treasure it, and how never to waste it. Elliot was invited to share his story far and wide. Yet every evening, no matter where he was, he would always return to Greenwind Hill, sit beneath the time tree, and quietly give thanks for each passing day. Many years later, when Elliot had become a silver-haired old man, a young boy from the village climbed the hill to find him. The boy asked, "Sir, how can I grow a time tree of my own?" Elliot smiled, and from his pocket he took out a tiny silver seed. "You don't have to search far," he said. "The seed of time has always been within your heart. What matters is whether you have the courage to plant it. and the patience and love to nurture it day by day. The boy accepted the seed with trembling hands, his eyes shining with wonder. And so the cycle of time continued once more. Generations later, Windermere became known as a village of hardworking, talented, and kind-hearted people. Their secret was passed down from one generation to the next in a simple saying: time is the most precious gift. Never waste it, for every moment today is a seed for tomorrow. At the very top of Greenwind Hill, the time tree still stood, its vast canopy casting a wide shade over the hill. And every night, the silver blossoms would gently sway in the breeze, whispering ancient stories to those who knew how to listen.